yeah. As was Liverpool in England, as was Bristol in England. So that west coast of the UK, they were slave ports. And most of the money that was made, the beautiful buildings in Glasgow, Liverpool and Bristol, come from the transportation of these poor people who were slaves. So going into Hanover Street, this is the penultimate street before the end of this particular tour. Now can I ask you, are you alright for time?
Yeah, we got.
You've got all day. You got tomorrow?
No, we fly out at 4 p.m.
Today? Yeah. Is there anything you want to say? Because it might be advantageous to you, as I said before, to get off and then get back on. Do you want to see the palace, for instance? Do you want to go to the Royal Palace of Holyrood?
I think we're just going to do the full circuit.
You just want to do the tour. You don't particularly want to go to the castle or anything.
We did like a lot of walking around.
Did you?
And like stuff. We went around the majority of the town yesterday.
You've done that already. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Have a rest today. Yeah?
That was her yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I slept most of it.
Did you? Oh, right.
That's why we decided to hoof it.
Yeah. So this is mostly new for you then today, yeah? Yeah. If you were to carry on right down this street, you'd come to a magnificent statue of Sherlock Holmes, because that's where Arthur Conan Doyle was born, the author of Sherlock Holmes. Beautiful statue. The house is no longer there though. And that road would lead to Leith, the port of Leith, which was a separate town until 1928. Leith today is famous for the Royal Yacht Britannia, permanently based there. Train Spotting, the novel, turned into a film. You might have heard of Train Spotting. The Proclaimers, have you heard of the Proclaimers group? Yeah, they come from Leith. Probably haven't. 500 miles. No?
Don't get that stuck in my head right now. How dare you?
Yeah. It's very popular in the USA. It was a big hit. But it was a while ago now. Yeah.
I think it was a movie, Benny and June.
Yeah, I think, yeah. But you know Train Spotting, don't you? Yeah. We have two football teams. That's soccer to you. Two soccer teams in Edinburgh. Heart of Midlothian behind you at that end of the city, and at this end of the city, in Leith, Hibernian. Hibernian means island. It's the Roman word for island, so it's formed by Irish immigrants. Wasn't as many Irish immigrants came to Scotland as went to places like Liverpool and Manchester in England, but most of them went to Glasgow on the west coast, but quite a few came to Edinburgh. Sean Connery's family were obviously originally Irish, although Sean was born in Edinburgh. His parents were Irish. Billy
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Was that because they're slave ports, or?
No, it was because of the Irish potato famine. Yeah, because a lot of Irish people were starving, and they came over, but particularly to England, Liverpool and Manchester, massive. Liverpool is nicknamed the capital of Ireland. It's a joke, but there's so many. You know, every other person in Liverpool has an Irish background. But Glasgow, also a lot of Irish people in Glasgow. Two football teams in Glasgow. One is Celtic, which is a Catholic Irish team, and then Rangers, which is Protestant. Yeah, so there's a big religious clash in Glasgow, which I don't expect you to understand because it's crazy, you know. And it's still going on. It's very fierce, you know. You couldn't get a job in Glasgow in the old days if you had a particular name. So if you were Mac, I mean, my name's McVitie, for instance, so that's kind of Scottish-Irish kind of thing. And so the implication would be that I would be Catholic. I'm actually not Catholic, but the implication would be that you're Catholic. So there's a lot of prejudice. Yeah. It's hard to believe that, isn't it? It's hard to believe kind of, you know, Protestant Catholic. Hanover, every street in this new town was to be named after the House of Hanover. You see, after the Stuart line had finished, you probably heard of Bonnie Prince Charlie and Culloden. After that, Bonnie Prince Charlie went back to France, and the main line of to the throne had ended, and that was the Stuart line. They'd got rid of the Stuarts, and so there was nobody to be king or queen of these islands. So I don't know if you know, our present royal family originates from Germany, yeah, from Hanover, North Germany. So all the streets had to be named after the House of Hanover when this town was built, except two exceptions: Thistle Street for Scotland, and somewhat more controversially, Rose Street for England. And Rose Street is a lot longer than Thistle Street. So you can see the psychology with that, can't you? Because this is the capital of Scotland. You've got to remember, this statue here is of George IV, and he was the first monarch to visit Scotland for 160 years. The monarch had not bothered to come here. Because after Culloden, the kilt was banned, tartan was banned, bagpipes were banned, and Gaelic was banned. Okay, so when he came to Edinburgh in 1822, he wore a kilt. So that kind of, tartan came back, the kilt came back, and so on. It's very complicated. If you're looking for a nice place to go for a cup of coffee later today, I recommend round this corner here on your left, on the other side of the road, the Dome, which is an old bank, and it's beautiful. It's all marble and oak. Get a beer there if you want. You get a glass of wine as well. You can go for coffee or you can go for tea.
You want a beer?
It's not Starbucks. Do you want a beer? I always think Starbucks, you could be anywhere. Yeah? But that's, see that where the flag is? You still go on the right. So you've got the Union flag, always referred to as the Union Jack, but its correct name is the Union flag, because it should only be called the Union Jack when it's on a ship, because our sailors were called Jack Tars. They used to use tar to repair the ships. But everybody calls it the Union Jack. The blue and white flag is the Saltire, which is the Scottish flag. That's the Scottish flag, that's the flag of Scotland. So coming back up the mound, so remember here on the right would have been a massive lake or loch, we called it a loch, the North Lake or the Nor Loch. College of Divinity. On the right hand side where all those windows were, that's one of the very first purpose-built student accommodations in the world. So when you went to university in the old days, you just stayed with local people. There was no student accommodation. That was one of the first purpose-built buildings for students. Edinburgh students still live in that building, or stay in that building, I should say. See the robot cutting the grass there? On your right-hand side, just right in the corner. Can you see it? Yeah. It's going to come back down again. It's turning round now.
It's like a lawnmower Roomba.
Yeah. What do you think about driverless cars? Are they going to take off?
Hopefully.
Yeah. Do we need them?
It would cut down a lot on traffic and accidents and that sort of thing.
Yeah. I don't think there'll be any cars in this city within 10 years. It's too small. They'll just be buses, taxis, and the trams that came back. Trams came back about 2 years ago. This is the Scottish National Gallery, as you can see. William Playfair designed it. So we're coming to the end of this particular tour. What you'll find, we'll probably stay in this street for a few minutes before we go round on the bridge, which is the beginning of the tour, because we're going to be in a queue then. The buses need to leave the bridge before we go, but it won't be too long.
Oh, is this Waverley Bridge?
This is Waverley Bridge here, yeah.
Okay.
We're actually a little bit early, so we will be here for a few minutes.
No worries.
Yeah.